So we're going to be making a tank destroyer using this hull, and it's my first time doing commentary, so it might suck. Well, not my first. So first thing we're doing is we're taking the MG port out, so that way we can fill it all in. And we're trying to extend that, but I guess like the water things, I don't know what those are. It does just look good. Those are like kind of causing issues, so we gotta remove those. And if you're wondering about the Discord, I'm on call with my friend. So now we can extend the shape out a little bit to like create a bigger superstructure, because it's a casemate, right? And I make a mistake here. I forget to do that split on the other side. And I realize that when I'm trying to select things, because I'm deleting it, so that way we can work on the interior. And I realize that there, so I have to go make that, and then I can select all and delete it again, and start filling stuff in to make it perfectly flat or aligned. Oopsies. I wish I can zoom in, but kind of can't from this. And we do need to fix some of that. Like, yeah, you see the armor is being a little weird, so we have to set it to horizontal. Fidgeting while I'm doing this, my bad. And we're gonna remove the rest of the top, and we have that engine deck there, so we'll just like move around the engine deck. Now we're gonna start making the superstructure. We're gonna grab the points we need and rise them up. So it's gonna be like, think an SU, any SU series really, for Soviet tank destroyers, because this is a Soviet-based tank tree that I was making in Sprocket. So we're also going to curve that way it aligns with the hull a little better. There's going to be a slight separation, but it's like this is welded on there, so I'm going to add the sides and the rear. We're actually going to tilt the sides first, so we need to remove those, so that way we can weld it into one plate. Anyways, like, on a different note, how was your day? How are you going? Is like, you having a good day? Do you play Sprocket? Is this content you would play? You know, I'm adding these back things. They really serve no purpose. I just decided to add them. I'm not exactly sure my thought process behind that. And for some reason, the mirror tool doesn't work, so we just have to manually copy over stuff. And let me know if you back onto what we were talking about before. If you want more Sprocket content, just tell me in the comments. Cause I saw a Patch Bits video and I'm like, no, I should do something like that. I should do, just have a time lapse of me building and then voice over this. And unfortunately for me, if I don't get this a good voiceover, I gotta do all 26 minutes again, and that just does not sound fun to do. We're gonna add the cannon. It's gonna be so I wanted to do the 152mm gun, but midway through I switched for a bigger gun, which is the 130mm gun. No, I don't remember the model off the top of my head, but it's the same one the Object 279 has. And this is World War II, but this is alternate history, where the Germans stole it to 49, and this gun was designed in 49. So this is technically a concepted vehicle. It's designed. It's hasn't been put into production. The production variant would basically just have the 152 instead of the 130, or still the 100 probably, because with the space in this, it wouldn't fit the 152. We're gonna put it on the manlet, and this is gonna be huge later on when I get the manlet done. But one of the things I don't like about the newest versions of Sprocket is that you can't add a counterweight anymore. And we should be able to add counterweights. Like, add-on armor doesn't count towards the weight, so you just kind of have to pivot it right, which can be very frustrating sometimes if you're trying to go for a certain aesthetic. try not to cough here because coughing would be not good. Okay. It might get louder in a second. I'm sorry. Sorry about that one. And yeah, we have armor gaps there, which you can see in the shell penetration that flashed for like 2 frames. That is an issue, so we do have to fix that. And we can't get the top one without it, like, armor jutting out the top because of how armor is generated in this game. So the top is kind of a shot trap, but that's fine. We do increase the side thickness, and we'll increase that later on because that will prove to be a issue for us when we're fighting. So now we're gonna start working on the turret mantlet, and I still don't know if I didn't know if I wanted to do like but there you go, that's the basic design. So it goes, the red's like left and right's another one, and then there's the up and down, which was the blue. And I can commentate on that well enough, my bad. But we're gonna start designing that. And I make a mistake, so I have to redo it. I think I already corrected it. Yeah, it looks about so. So we're gonna be working on the blue part that you saw in that design. And so that will be the up and down. And we did not armor this good enough. That's a major weak point in this, unfortunately. And I think I was trying to make it like a circle that went around the barrel, but that was optimal, or not optimal. Too many vertices. So we're gonna add the basket. This is hard because like I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to explain it. Like, we just have to make it take up space, and so just pretend the basket isn't there when counting for space, because it shouldn't be there. We're gonna start working on the red part that was in the turret diagram, and this is gonna be like, think of like the SU series again, how it's like that rectangle, and then the thing in there goes like up and down in it. I'm doing a motion with my hands to an invisible webcam, but like, it's like the SU series. We're gonna flatten it out so that it better fits the shape of the curve. We're gonna rotate it, but in reality that's just not gonna look good when it's actually moving up and down. And so we're gonna flatten it out. Strange, I thought I did. Interesting. We're gonna curve it to give it a better shape. And we did add an opening, so, oh yeah, there we go, we flattened it out. There, you can actually shoot into there, which is not good. I mean, realistically, that's how it would have been done, but it's not good in this game to have, like, openings, from what I've learned. We're gonna also give that a little curve so it fits better. And it would also need to be curved slightly so that it can rotate left and right. In the isthmus. I think I'm saying that wrong. I'm gonna do a little more geometry, that way we can add like an overhang to it, so it can, the up and down, the elevation can like look smooth when it's going into it. And we're gonna adjust the armor values. It's not gonna look good. This is another mistake, not having the armor values on this piece, which just creates a giant void where shells can be shot and go just straight through the tank. So sorry about this. My computer, it's closer to my desk now. The trade-off is like, it's either I have a loud server and like 2 other computers, or I have this computer, which is loud, but I don't have like that constant droning. I mean, this is a droning, don't get me wrong, but I think it's way better than the other. And also because it's quieter in here. I got my fan in here, which is turned off for some reason. we're going to armor the top of that, and whoa, my my monitor turned off. I'm sorry about that. I would have commentated. Now we're gonna work on the box that the ismuth goes in, which is, I think it was colored black in the diagram. Yeah, it was black in the diagram, including the rest of the turret. So it's very huge. We're gonna have to adjust the size, and this was kind of hard to work on them, but I'm proud of the custom mantlet result that we got from the end of it. I really like it. Whoa. Okay, I thought that picked up through my mic and scratching my head. I'm like, what? I really gotta cough again. We're beveling it just for a better shape, and then it's looking good, but not the best. So we're gonna shape it out a little more, especially lower the bottom a bit. And the position of the actual cannon inside that is gonna change a lot, because we're going to balance the gun on the pivot, which is a very time consuming, or not time consuming, but just not, it's not nice. And apparently that's not centered. I don't know why it's not centered, so we just ignore it. Like, I put it on the middle and everything, and it's just not centered, so we work around it. We're adding the gun sight here, like a T-series gun sight, and the thickness is very thick. I mean, logically, very clearly. And we slide the actual gun sight into there, so it's an actual gun sight. We're also gonna name it the T13 or T10. Like I said, I can't zoom in, so I don't know. You guys have to tell me. We'll look at the gun model there, and we are searching up the ammo layout for the tank, which we're not gonna worry about until later. We're just getting that as a good idea. We're gonna start adding crew. We're gonna add the driver first, I believe, and we're also gonna mess with the turret basket, but it's not gonna worry much. And then, oh shoot, we need a gun port, or a driver's port. So we start making that, and we also have to fix the armor layout on that, because it, before, it's just gonna like shoot in random directions. We're gonna duplicate those points, that way we can start shaping it, and it's very big, but if you can notice, it is far too close to the side of the tank, and that is an issue for when I'm placing crew later, unfortunately. So like the driver has to like tilt his head to the side like that, and he's probably the driver of this tank's gonna develop back issues from operating the vehicle. All the crew in this are gonna develop back issues and issues in general. They're in a war in a tank, but the driver especially. Add a little bar, just the extra detail. And we were gonna put things on the top, like holes for more hatches, but I didn't feel like going through that struggle of putting holes in. We are actually going to lower the armor value of that place, because remember, the MG port was there, so the engineers, if they're like redesigning it, because the MG port's already cut out, they can't like fit another perfectly sized plate back in. So it is a weak spot. So if like you were playing War Thunder and this tank was in War Thunder, you shoot there. We are adding baskets to this sign, and these are not what you think. You think they're for stowage, but they're actually sandbox. Like, you'd put the sandbags in there, and it's just extra armor. The early version of ERA, if you will. Oh, I can't avoid this cough. 3. Why am I counting it down? Yeah, allergies. It's that time of the year. We're gonna delete all these at once, which is just gonna delete those because it gets rid of the points. So we have to do it one by one. If you do math, you'll know that's gonna be an even number. So we'll just work around it and make advantage of the mirror while we still have it. And this is a very tedious process, and you'll notice it creates a lot of points. We'll cut it down the middle also. And I just found this out by building this tank, that you can control click a surface and it selects all the points on that. That was really cool to learn. That was helpful. Now before we start putting sandbags in, look at all those points. It's just a monstrous amount of points. We need to remove those. So we'll start deleting them, and like a lot of them, a lot of this surface, and we'll just select them and use the fill tool. And I got like bored halfway, so like we didn't optimize completely. And we make optimizations to the bottom of the basket, but it really doesn't change a whole much because it's not getting rid of points. It's getting rid of polygons though, which I don't know how much they affect the game. I know points affect the game a lot, but yeah, you'll see it didn't get rid of like no points. This does have a lot of points, so we'll remove those and get the top as well. Yeah. What's that squeaking? And we'll copy paste it to the other side. And this is my first time using Dario's parts. Well, I did make a tank before this, but Dario's parts are like kind of cool. And we filled those up with the sandbags, and some of it's overlapping, but you won't notice those. And it looks good, and it does actually work. So also, yeah, we're gonna modify the armor on the sides. And now we're gonna work on ammo layout. So we're gonna add that to the sides, and we're gonna add a compartment or a bulkhead to the engine, because you want to separate the engine from the main crew compartment, probably because of fumes that can accumulate in the heat generated. And also in this game it could act as a spall liner, who knows. And we're also gonna make it cover up parts of the ammo, and we're gonna tilt the ammo up later, so it's gonna change that. We're gonna add boxes there, just little details. And that ladder, we're gonna use it for ammo storage on the side of the tank, which is a very creative idea. People probably done it before, because these parts have been out for a little bit. And I'm gonna add the ammo in there. Not right now though, like we build it and we just forget about it for a little bit. Yeah, I'm running out of things to say, I'm sorry. We are going to start working on the bottom of the tank, because if you were to move in a tank, and if you've been inside of a tank, not a lot of people probably have, you'll see that, like, you don't see those torsion bars at the bottom and stuff. There's usually like a platform there, right? And so we're going to add that, and this is when we're going to angle the ammo up. And angling the ammo up is just aesthetics. It's not really something useful. And then I don't know, I get distracted with tiny details like that, like curving it around the torsion bar, and like just small stuff like that. That probably was hard to hear. I was covering my mouth. We are adding the ammo back to these ladders now, and we do shift the ammo forward a bit in the future, yeah, so that way it can be at a better position for the crew, which turns out is the complete opposite. And I'm realizing now I probably should have moved the ammo back when I was doing the crew. We're looking at more diagrams of the SU-100 specifically, because that's a cool tank. We're going to add a little more details in the back. Scooch them all the way back there. We're going to add stowage, but we decide against that. I forgot I added those racks in there. They do nothing and they're not noticeable. So now we're gonna add, oh, my monitor turned off again. We're gonna add, I don't know what I just added. I think we just added bars on the side. This was a neat trick because I didn't feel like modeling a seat, so we're just gonna use an upside down hatch as a seat. And this is where we realize that the driver's port is in a very not good location. What we need, and we're gonna spend a while adjusting the crew, playing a little Tetris, a little like those like wood blocker games where you gotta like slide the piece of wood to move another one up. And we're gonna, he's gonna get moved around a lot because there's actually not a lot of space in this vehicle. The chassis it was based off of had 3 crew, I think, a driver, loader, gunner, and the gunner would fill both the commander and loader role. So we're gonna start assigning crew, and we're gonna actually place the gun on the thing, and I think this is when I balance the gun if I haven't already. No, it's not. So this is the bare minimum to start test driving the vehicle. I just have to move the thing over there a little bit, rotate it to desirable rotation. I don't know how like the engineering behind that would work. We just have a rotated gear. I feel like that'd break, like a universal joint maybe. One thing I wish we had was better gun elevation, like add torque, because back when it was volumetric, you can just attach a turret basket and scale it down, and then use that, and you could make stabilizers with that, and it was really quick and effective. It's like a giant space at the bottom is growing. I'm not quite sure what that is. We're gonna test the gun, and this is when we're gonna realize its vertical is so bad. Like it's not aligned properly, so that plate is just not moving good, and it's slow. And so our solution is to just remove the accurate length that the gun's supposed to have. So it's actually shorter than it should be, but it gives us a good elevation, and the plate is properly pivoted. We're gonna add a commander now, and we can't really decide where the commander should go, so he's gonna flip with the loader and then go flip back. And mostly because we had a cupola, I'll just call it a cupola, and we add it, and I'm like, this just does not look good in that location, and so I move it further back, but we do revert the changes. And yeah, there's me loading the commander, or moving the loader back, and then the commander, or loader forward, commander back, same thing. And yeah, we revert it, and we're gonna test drive it, and we're taking it into battle now. Its battle performance, the major weak spot is the around the barrel and the lower front plate somehow, believe it or not. And I'm not quite sure why the lower front plate was a weak spot, but it was a very, like, yeah. Because the lower front plate had a few 100mm armor. I do think what I am driving right now is the modified version, the mod 2, and if it is the mod 2, we'll see. Yeah, it's the mod 2 version, because it has tracks on the side, so I skipped developing that, so we didn't actually see all the weaknesses, but it did get a welded armor on the front plate and lower plate, so it's pretty much impenetrable. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that shot hits me straight through the gun mantlet, and it's a kill shot, unfortunately, so we have to switch vehicles. We did add tracks to the front around the driver's port, because I did die there once, and we also added it to the side because just a little extra protection wouldn't help, or wouldn't hurt, or maybe it would, you never know. The weight of the tank matters. But surprisingly, this thing is under 40 tons, which is really cool if you ask me, or really useful. And Just looking at the voiceover, this has so much lag on it. Like, it's so behind. I'm not sure why. I'm gonna have to adjust that. That's gonna suck. And, cause then things aren't gonna be synced and I'm gonna have to redo it all. So, maybe it'll correct itself. We're shooting at this guy, we're trying to range him. And I'm gonna say I could skip this battle to save time. We do hit him there, but we're gonna hit him one more time to get a better shot and hopefully kill him or blow his turret out, and we do get the kill there. We're gonna advance, and for what it is, this thing's actually kind of fast. Actually, well, I don't know the good performance of off-roading for vehicles like this, so it could be slow. But yeah, you can see the extra front armor plus the spare tracks welded on, which serves as extra front armor. We're gonna push the enemy, and in the end, that's what's gonna kill us. We see this guy here, we take him out. No, he actually takes us out. But yeah, I mean, the match. We switch around and we don't actually see any more guys that are friendly, so that's where it ends. And it seems there's still video, but guess not. Subscribe if you want more content, I guess. I don't know.